Nowhere. I'll be right with everybody. I'm still baiting up. Took me a lot longer to get out here than I expected. It is raining today a lot. I had to wait until the rain cleared out. It took a bit longer than expected. Hopefully you guys can hear me when I'm all the way down. I have not fit my spot in over a decade. It used to be a halfway decent spot, but just haven't had this area in a while. I do come up here, come to this area during the day with the kids, and just feel hate it when you set something down and it disappears instantly. I have absolutely no idea where that tray went. Not a clue. Oh, usually speaking, when I'm out fishing, I'm saltwater fishing. This is freshwater. About a half a mile north of me is a lake that is renowned in Florida for having the highest concentration of alligators. This particular almost always has alligators 24 hours a day, which is part of the reason why I'm here. And why I will not bring my children here at night. Now, this used to be a really good spot for catching various types of catfish. However, it's anymore. Real to come fishing. Now, I did catch catfish here during the day. Maybe 8 inches long. But it was a catfish. In case any of you are wondering where I am at Camp Holly. It's on 192, just west of Melbourne, Florida. It's a really nice old school spot. There used to be a shack here that basically sold bait and had airboat rides, which they still ride. The rest bar, the original outpost is still there, but they put a nice new shell on it. Bait's already gone. That's the second time I've thrown that pole. The second time I've had no bait instantly. And it goes in some weird direction instead of where I'm trying to throw it. That being said, this pole is over 30 years old. And I have got to remember to put a towel in this truck. I still saw the bait come. Planning on the river shall make. I don't know if anybody's actually there yet. We'll be with y'all as soon as I'm fully set up. So, welcome to Camp Holly. This place is definitely a Florida tradition, that's for sure. It has been here way before I was around. There used to be a little campground here a long, long time ago. That's gone. But what you can do is you can rent cabins. But the cabins are not right here at Camp Holly. The cabins are out on the river. They're floating cabins. I have no idea how much they cost. It used to be $50 a night, and the airboat drivers would take you out there and then pick you back up if you didn't have your own boat. It ain't no $50 anymore, I'll tell you that. What they are is basically little sheds on a wooden platform with barrels underneath them, usually about 10 by 12 or so. Might have a few that's a little bit bigger. They have basic power, internal light, external light. They've got navigational lights on them so that the airboaters and anybody else navigating these waters don't hit them. I have no idea how much they cost now. I've been meaning to ask, but every time I end up going up into the main facility area, it's so busy that I don't bother the people just to ask a silly question like that. With the restaurant, and they've got a bar outside. It's really, really, really nice in there now. On the weekends, they have live music pretty much all day. All right, I think I'm just about set up. They don't have any music going right now. They had a radio going when I pulled up, which is perfectly normal. They don't have the bands, they'll often have a radio going. And this place changed hands a few years back. And the new family that owns it spent several $1 million to basically redo a lot of this. And this little spot where I'm sitting is technically county property. So it has remained unchanged forever. It will remain pretty much unchanged. The only real difference between it now and when I was a kid is the little drainage canal that runs along the side of the spot between me and the bridge is now completely overgrown with water hyacinth. Now, I'm between two lakes. To the north of me is Lake Washington, and to the south of me is Lake Helen Blazes. Now, Lake Helen is an unusual lake. It is well known for its floating grass mats. So if you're in anything other than an airboat, the way through that lake and to continue up the river changes on an hourly basis as this maze of grass mats just kind of bump around. Watch out in front of this area. Any time of day, there'll be chunks of grass mat that floats by. This entire area around it here is wetlands. Different types of marshes. There's also a lake here called Sawgrass Lake that's connected to this. It's not really a lake so much, it's just a couple hundred acres of sawgrass. It's got a few channels cut in it for navigation purposes. Not really a good spot to fish. The sawgrass is just too thick. Oh. All right, well, let's see how well this works. I've got a multitude of different little lights to light me up. Yeah, it looks like my lantern ain't going to be working well. I kind of suspected as much. I've used it quite a few times. Time for new batteries. All right. Well, welcome to Live by the River. I need to get this to where I can see my fishing poles behind me at the same time I'm talking to you. That's going to be a little tricky. That's not too bad. Can't really see the right one too well, though. But that's okay. Let's turn this thing off. There we go. I'll see if I can get it to where I can light up that third pole, that dark pole. Well, something got the bait on that one already. Right after I first set it up, it seemed like I had gotten a hit, and then it stopped. My line got a little tangled there, and kind of hard to see. Yeah, since they put the bar in here, the nighttime traffic here is a lot more than it used to be because it's outside of city limits. So they get to go by a different set of rules than in the city. Which means this is one of the few places that'll still be serving booze, beer, and whatnot at a different time than just on the other side of the river. Of course, With this, you also get the extra fun of constant airboats, which is another reason why I stopped coming here. Because even though there used to be plenty of people on airboats, there is now a airboat enthusiast club here. And after they set up, they got pretty bad here. They don't really respect the fishermen. They don't respect other boaters. They go wherever they want, and they're extremely loud while doing it. I used to canoe here. You don't dare canoe here anymore. I've been swamped more than a dozen times. And it's airboaters. They come in at high speed. They're only going slow right here because it's a no wake zone, and FWC likes to come by here and watch. Plus the new owners. And as you can tell, as soon as they exit the no wake zone, they lay into it. Technically, the no wake zone is the other side of the bridge. That guy didn't wait. I confirmed that wasn't FWC sitting over here. Up with this one. That's what's up with this one. And I think I'm going to switch baits on this one and run some cut bait. So I don't want to sit here and constantly rebait. Not livers. I should have got something else. Livers traditionally the best to get them in, but it doesn't really stay on the hook well. I wanted to get some gizzards to go with the liver, but it didn't really happen. All right. Now that I am completely and totally covered in fish bait, and I can mostly see my 3 poles. Huh. Well, just can't seem to get that quite right, huh? There we go. Right. Up one more. Turn this off again. All right. Hopefully I catch something. Now I brought my kids here the other day and completely got skunked. But that's not the same as night fishing. Now this tends to be a really good bluegill spot. There happens to be a shell bar right here. And if you fish on the shell bar, you'll catch shell crackers, bluegill, things. Sometimes a warsaw. If you fish on the other side of the shell bar, cast past it, that's where 3 to 4, sometimes 5 pound largemouth bass will hang. And you usually come down here on any given day, catch a dozen or so bluegill, maybe a couple bass, sometimes catfish. Sometimes you catch something else. There's a large amount of tilapia in these waters now. There didn't used to be tilapia here at all when I was a kid. They were introduced here to help clean out the hydrilla, which is a fish tank plant that was introduced to our waters and is massively basically completely choked out the waterways. So they introduced several different fish to take care of it. One is a grass carp, a triploid hybrid that is incapable of producing. These fish cost FWC quite a bit of money. And they get 6 foot, 7 foot, 150 pounds, probably more, but they don't produce. So all of them that are in the waterways were placed there specifically by the Florida Wildlife Commission, or FWC. The tilapia were released as both a potential new food source, one that eats algae and the hydrilla. They breed really, really fast. It's probably the fastest breeding fish in these waters. They don't bed once or twice a year like our native fish do. They bed 4 times a year. All right, I got my chat up. Last weekend was free fishing here. No license required for freshwater. About a month ago, they did their saltwater one. Now, from what I understand, they're now going to be doing that twice a year instead of once a year, like they had been doing. So that'll be kind of nice. But keeping track of it is difficult. You've got to use the FWC website, and you can't even just general search it. Like, I was going to general search it. What was that? Like last Wednesday, I general searched it, and I got like 1,500 or so different. Hi, Misha. Hits on their site for it, and a good 40 different answers. So, what the hell? The only thing that let me know for sure that it was doing it was I was purchasing a new fishing license online, and when I was going to my checkout, it popped up a thing saying, "Hey, you can fish for free this weekend. Are you sure you want to buy your license?" Well, yeah, I want to buy my license because I fish year round, but I didn't have to spend it for last weekend. The way they have it set up is like the second or third weekend of June for the freshwater fishing. And I think I read in there that they're talking about having another one sometime in September. Hopefully, I catch something. Oh, Sonny. Hey, Sonny. Well, hopefully, I catch something. One never knows, right? Like I said a little while ago, I have actually fished this particular spot in a very, very long time. Not in a very, very long time. At night, I come up here a few times a year during the day. It's not terribly far from the house. It's about the same distance to drive for me to come here as it would be for me to go to the Indian River Lagoon. But I tend to go to the Indian River Lagoon because there's more of a chance of me catching fish at the Indian River Lagoon at night. Now, tends to be other types of fish that I can catch as well. So I might catch catfish here at night, maybe a gar. If I had the right bait, there's a possibility around 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning I might catch speck or speckled perch. But it's not as likely for me to actually catch anything here like it used to. 20 plus years ago, this was good catfish water. You could pull up at night and catch plenty of catfish. And they reintroduced several species of catfish here. So, we've got channel cats, 60, 70 pounds max. Chances of catching one is very, very slim in this part of the St. Johns River. But they are here. Um, we've got butter cats, which is kind of like a yellow cat, but they're smaller. They only get maybe this big, 14 inches max. They're not a very big species. They're very tasty, though. Very, very tasty. Hi, Josh. Welcome in. And the third species that we have here that is a native species is called a marble cat. They're these little black and white catfish. Now, those were reintroduced to these waters a decade ago because they weren't here. There for a little while during the winter, you could catch a good amount of them. I haven't caught one in 4 years. People in the parking lot always gotta love it. But me and a friend of mine, Alan, we were tearing them up for like 2 or 3 years after they reintroduced them in here. And there was a large breeding population. Anytime we caught one that was pregnant, we put them back. I said, we haven't really caught any in about 4 years. And part of the problem is another evasive catfish that's here. We have what used to be called a Picostomus in the fish tank trade. Now they're calling them pacus, which actually a pacu is something completely different. Other people call them suckerfish because they get them their fish tank and they kind of go around, they suck on the glass, and suck all the algae off. Well, people not wanting to kill their pet fish, especially if they had kids, started dumping them in the canals here. Now, we locally, when we catch them, which you really don't catch on a rod and reel very often unless you snag them, we call them armored catfish because they just look like a catfish, but scaly. They don't really have much of a predator here. I mean, some of the alligators will eat them, but because they're armored, there's really not a lot that eats them. But they do burrow into the native catfish's dens and eat their eggs. So that's a bit of a problem. But it could be worse, you know? It really could be. They do benefit the river in other ways. Um, they eat a lot of algae. And they are edible themselves, although I myself don't necessarily know exactly how to go about cleaning them. But I know of people that do it. Um, I don't. I've seen a couple of videos of people catching them right here in these waters, and then they use like heavy industrial scissors to cut the scales off, and then just like plop the fish out of the scales, almost like opening a crab or something. And from what I understand, they're really good with lime. But I also don't know per se exactly how to go about doing it. I've never tried. And then I'd kind of rather have somebody show me exactly how to go about doing it. Looks like they are closing shop. I have no idea what time it is. Hi, Christy. Uh, Christy, I'm a bit too far north, or in this case, south, to really catch any blue crabs in the St. John's. I'm up in the headwaters. There are some here, but the chances of catching them are extremely slim. I got to travel up by Sanford or further north on the St. John's before I start getting any blue crab. So, hour and a half drive or so. Nice up there though. I have family up there, and I've been thinking about going up there and doing some fishing and hanging out. Bring my crab traps because there are plenty up there. Oh, you're up in Jacksonville? That's a 4-hour drive from here. at least. No, I haven't really caught anything yet. Honestly, I'm not sure I will here at night. This used to be a good catfish hole at night, but I don't know if it is anymore. I've heard that it hasn't been all that good. Oh, hey, Aquarius. Hey, Howie. Welcome in. Oh, with any luck, I'll catch something. I catch plenty of catfish when I go over and catch the hardhead cats. I'm hoping for a channel cat. They are here. There's just not a lot of them. But honestly, I'd be happy with a butter cat or a marble cat. I would just like to catch something other than a saltwater cat. And right now, the saltwater catfish, the hardheads, and the sail cats are in their breed. And honestly, I don't want to just sit there and catch hardhead cat after hardhead cat. I mean, they're not bad eating, but you kind of get tired of catching the exact same fish. Thanks, Howie. It does get old to catch those. Oh, there's more variety that I might catch over on the Indian River, but it's not like it used to be over there either. The spots that I'm going to and I'm catching all of those hardhead catfish, I used to just sit there and catch redfish, black drum, stingray, flounder, lots of flounder. No salmon in our waters. Good luck, Howie. I hope you catch some. This particular spot is known for its alligators. This is the exact spot on that video from the other day that had the alligator. And strangely enough, I don't see any of them out there right now. Oh, now something had that for a second. Maybe I will get something today. I am starting to hear fish action. Sorry about that. Pole moved and all. Today, a little turtle. I trying to steal my bait. He was chasing around anywhere I threw something. Something got my bait. There's a lot of grass floating by. Thing is, it's heading in the wrong direction. It should be heading south because that's what the current should be, or heading north, and it's heading south. I want to walk around. Well, I can't really do it with this pole. I'd have to do it with the big pole, big dark pole. I want to walk down the. It used to be the name of the game here was try to get as close to the bridge as possible to catch fish. I think I got some weeds. Yeah, I'm a little short on line on the two white poles after catching that shark. So he ended up tangled up in both poles, but I still got him in. And I had to cut a lot of the line out, which means I had to line. But it's kind of, but it is what it is, right? Oh, wow, I think I may have made it to the channel. That would be sweet. This black pole is set up like how I would for the beach. I didn't bother re-rigging it just because I was here instead of being on the river or the beach. This little white one that I just threw out, it's actually so low on line I could out throw the amount of line that's on it. This guy, it's caught on grass. I think. Maybe. Yeah. Oh, I see. Eyes. First time I've seen some type of eye out there. Oh yeah. Look at you guys. Our gator. Oh, I do have some eyes out there now. Let's see what I got. Oh, I've got some alligators. I've got at least 4. One of them's real close. Real close. Little one's real close. Definitely there. Slowly cruising this way. Oh, it might be time to put something on my hip. Old saying, don't be scared, be prepared. There, definitely gators creeping up. See if I can show you one. Right there. There's a small gator. That's just a little guy. Just a little fella. Oh, there's another one down there. Their eyes light up red. There's two right there. Oh, that one didn't like it me moving that fast. There was another one over there. Yeah, there it is. And another one right there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gators. 6 alligators right here that I know about. That little one came back up right over there. That's why a lot of people don't night fish on this river. So you got to pay attention. Do believe I'll be switching the way I'm doing this. Yep. Sorry, I'm going to have to watch that way. Kind of changes how I do things. At this point, I can't really afford to have my back to the water. Sorry about that. I've been wondering why I wasn't seeing any. There have been times that I have been here right before sunset where I see 60, 70 of them out there. But that's also why it's a good idea to carry when you're out here. Ironically, as bad as the alligators could possibly be, they're not the most dangerous things you need to worry about out here. Actually, the most dangerous thing you need to worry about out here are the pigs. The wild pigs are actually the most dangerous animals in this part. And the pig will eat you just as well Because one of these gators will. Yeah, I got another one real close right there. I don't know where the little one went. He's probably right here. I've got at least two of them right in front of me. One direction, one going another direction. Now, it's not that we don't get the gators in the salt water. We do. A lot of people think, oh, well, no alligators in salt water. It's not true. We do get them in the salt water too. It's just not as many. Nowhere near as many. Sorry about the view change. I just need to be facing the water. Alligators are opportunistic feeders. Now that little one that was real close to me, he mostly understands he's not going to be able to eat me. But some of these other ones, they're pretty big, and they might try. I've got one maybe 35 feet in front of that middle pole right now. You see that little red dot? That's an alligator eye. And he's watching me. Now, they're not on the protected species list anymore. But I don't play the alligator lottery thing. It's pretty expensive. And the way you hunt them now is not like it used to be back in the day. You're supposed to catch them on a fishing pole, drag them up, and then use a bang stick on them. I want you to use the bang stick because that's safer. Versus people out there with rifles or shotguns or pistols. Because a bullet will skip across the water and you might hit somebody quite a ways away and hurt them, or a house, or vehicle, or any number of things that could happen. So they want you to use the bang stick because you're literally slamming it against the side of the alligator and has nowhere else to go. Which is, smart. But back in the day, you just kind of walked out on the end of your dock and shot an alligator. All right, I got one right there, right in front of me, and another one right there. Oh, and another one right there. I got three of them literally right in front of me. I should have brought a different light with me so I could spotlight them instead of my floodlights. These are my floodlights that I normally use when I'm fishing. They're rechargeable. I highly recommend these lights, but spotlighted is not. Yeah, I was doing a night fish like this one night on the lake just to the north of me, Lake Washington. And that whole time, I had really, really big alligators stalking me. These guys are just watching me a little closer than I like them to, but I'm getting a jiggle jiggle. Nah, that's nothing there. Here, fishy, fishy. Not seeing any particularly large alligators. I mean, there's a couple of them of good size, but I'm not seeing any giants. I am concerned that they're going to try to steal it. Maybe they'll lose interest in me. It's not likely, but it's possible. Hey, Daggin Hills. Hope you're doing good, brother. Larks, I'm fishing for catfish, but I'm being stalked by alligators. Oh, almost 2 decades ago. There used to be an old black man that used to sit in this exact spot almost every weekend. Yeah, Daggin Hills, I'm planning on doing more fishing streams. I solved some of my tech problems. I don't know how well I'm going to do at this spot. Uh, can't say I'm too happy about as many alligators as there are, but I knew that was a possibility. It's always a possibility. I've done some fishing lately, but not been in a position to be able to live stream them. I've caught several buckets full of saltwater catfish so far this year. I'm probably at around 45 or 50 pounds. It's just smaller catfish, but a lot of them. And I've caught one shark, one redfish. Wasn't big enough to keep, so it doesn't really count, but I caught him. And oh, something else weird that I caught. But I'm on the St. Johns River tonight, freshwater. It's the St. Johns River Marsh. It's the headwaters of the St. Johns River. It travels from just south of here, just south of where I live, all the way to Jacksonville, and it does a curly Q through Central Florida. So it is one of the main watersheds for Florida. We have three big rivers in Florida, kind of big rivers. The St. Johns is a big river. The Kissimmee is a very, very big river, but large sections of it are just straight canal. The Army Corps of Engineers did their thing back in the 50s and turned it into a straight line deal. There is a restoration project to recover some of that. The third one is the Withlacoochee River. It's not as big as the other two, but it's still big enough to be something that you should know about. Uh, Beautiful river. Used to live on it at one point. As a matter of fact, all three of these rivers I've mentioned at one point I either lived on or lived within walking distance of. Um, I've lived on the Kissimmee. I've lived on the St. John's. Technically, I live within walking distance of it now. And I lived within 60 yards of the Withlacoochee at one point in a house on stilts. All right, some of these alligators are getting pretty bold. There's one crossing in front of me underneath my fishing lines. And now I don't see him. There he is. Hey, right there. Look around to find out. Oh, ballsy ass gator, man. That's why I turned the camera around the other way. That way I can sit behind it and watch the river instead of trying to watch my poles through the camera. I might be able to get away with doing that over on the Indian River Lagoon. I don't think I'm going to get away with it here. Tried. Wonder how many of them come up here on shore at night that the establishment here doesn't even know about. I mean, I've seen them on shore here a couple times sunbathing, but honestly, there's so much airboat traffic here that the alligators have learned just to get the hell out of the way because they'll get run over. When I was here the other day with my girls, there was this one fairly large alligator, probably about 7, 8 foot, good sized gator. He's hanging out on the other side. And, you know, he wasn't bothering anybody. It's obviously hanging out in his normal territory. And as certain airboats and other boats went by or were launched, because there's a boat launch right here, you know, he didn't really pay attention. I'll tell you, this one black and yellow airboat came up, and that alligator disappeared. He swam away across the top of the water extremely fast. And then when that airboat started to throttle up, he dove. And that gator did not come back over to this area for the rest of the day that I was here. I think he might have had some experience with that particular airboat hitting him or trying to hit him. Uh, right here where we're at, this ramp is one of the worst ramps in the county. It's not like it's broke up or anything weird. It dead ends like 4 feet into the water. Costs $3 to use it. You got to go inside and pay them. There's a little parking lot. On the other side of the river is a canal that leads back, probably a half a mile. At the end of that canal, thanks where to begin is two boat ramps. Well, technically three. Two really wide, really super well maintained, probably the nicest boat ramps in the entire county. And right next to it is a cheap ass crap boat ramp that has been there for 70 years. It's in decent shape. It's just old. Really, really old. Now, the really, really old one is free and open to the public to use at no cost. The old county boat ramp, owned by the county and was installed, 1950s area. The other ones, the really, really nice ones, belong to the Airboat Club. They have a building there and picnic tables, and it's real nice, but it's exclusive to the Airboat Club. So they're all right here, though. And you really don't have a lot of choices on how to access the St. John's here. Most of the St. John's through this area is protected wetlands and part of the wildlife management system. So you have these boat ramps here. To the south of us, they put in a really nice boat ramp. I mean, really, really nice boat ramp and parking lot. However, it doesn't really go anywhere. It goes onto a canal that is connected to this through a series of man-made marshlands. If you're in an airboat, you can go out through that area. If you're in a regular boat, you've got about a mile of straight and narrow, deep channel you can go on that just dead ends in an airboat launch, uh, where the airboats can go over into the marshland. And then to the north of us, a good 8 miles from here, is another boat ramp. Yeah, that's lightning, Daggin Hills. We had a massive storm come across us right before I came out here. Now, that boat ramp's actually on the lake. Nice boat ramp, nice park. Doesn't cost anything to go to the little park, but it doesn't have, like any amenities other than a bathroom. But if you try to use the boat ramp, you're going to get harassed. Unfortunately, that is one of the few sections where there's a bunch of houses right next to the river. And there are several people there that are 100% convinced that that is for the residents of that neighborhood and that neighborhood only. County Park. And they show up as soon as they see you drive into there. I've drove into there just to park, wait, and meet people. And within 2 or 3 minutes, there's this blonde-haired Karen that'll pop up and start screaming at you. She tried to block me in there once. She called the cops on me twice. Both times the cops told her she needed to leave people alone and quit calling them. But that continues to go on. The next access is all the way up in Cocoa, 40-minute drive, maybe a little more off of Highway 520. There's another fish camp. Yeah, just for parking. That fish camp is called Lone Cabbage. If you ever find yourself in the area, I actually really recommend that place. Uh, the fishing there is superb. Sometimes they do fishing tournaments. I used to go to the fishing tournaments a lot back in the 90s. They do a where they tag a bunch of fish and then let them go, and it doesn't cost to enter the fishing tournament. At least it didn't back then. It does now. But they would tag all kinds of stuff. That was acting like a fish or something. Not sure if it's still there. I still got my bait. That was definitely a hit, though. Not any floating grass mats at the moment. Scared the hell out of that little alligator when I came rushing up here. No bait on this one again. Guess I'm going to cycle through my poles for a second. Bear with me. Yeah, but Lone Cabbage is a really, really great place to go. I don't know how the facility is anymore because I haven't been there in a long time. Gas is too expensive for me to go exploring like I used to back in the day. It used to be great to go there for the tournaments. A lot of times they'd have free barbecue or various barbecue vendors. They had big bass tournaments too there. I mean, big time bass tournaments there for a while. I honestly don't know if they still do or not. I'm assuming they do because of how popular it used to be. Because, I mean, there would be several thousand people that would show up for these things. I was in that once. Young, my dad fishing tournament. I caught really nice bass that day. I kind of tired of fishing along the bank of the river, and there's a pond off to the side. And, you know, just for the fun of it, I figured I'd go try the little pond. You know, got a big river, but behind it's a little pond. Let's go try a little pond. Well, that actually turned out to be a pretty good idea because I caught a nice, big, fat bluegill with $100 tag on it. So, our weekend out fishing back. Oh, I'd say maybe 84, 85. Wouldn't be past 85. Earlier than that. All right. Well, we're getting a little bit of action. Oh, what's eating the bait? Not really taking the hook. It's starting. That was definitely a good jiggle. There happens to be another batch of hydrilla floating by right now. I don't like that. When that happened, it wasn't a bunch of hydrilla, so something was messing with it. I can see the dark pole really well, the white tips. With my eye, the camera's not doing such a good job. Swede, I ain't caught anything yet. I did just get a bite, but there's a lot of alligators here. That makes it kind of exciting because you got to watch because they're going to try to eat you. My kids wanted to come out and do this so bad, and I was like, no, not here. You know, a lot of times I'll take them with me. Not here. Oh, I'm trying. And this microphone, how well is it working? Is it working all right? I'm always paranoid about this stuff not working since it all the time doesn't work for me. Not seeing as much alligator action right now as I was earlier. They're still here. They moved down. Oh, wouldn't be the first time I caught an alligator on a fishing pole. Probably wouldn't be the last either. They give you a hell of a fight. I'll tell you though, these little 4 or 5 footers, they're they're ballsy. It used to be the little 4 and 5 foot alligators. They're the ones that went the other way. That's not so much the case. They're the ones that come up right close. Guess things change even in alligator generations. Not bad though. Nice night out. It was really hot today. Uh, in the low 90s, but really high humidity, so it had a feel like temperature of like 105. Go outside for 10 minutes and almost die. All that rain that came through, that's Florida air conditioning. And them afternoon rains that come through or early evening, it drops temperature. It's probably about 74 now. A whole lot better than it was earlier. They even got a breeze that's halfway decent. I start doing some reconditioning work on my canoe. I gotta figure out how I can film in a canoe. I'm not really sure how to go about doing that. But I'd like to get out some of the places I used to go a lot. I might modify my canoe so that I can do it. You know, if I get if I get a year out of this microphone, I'll be happy. Yeah, Swede, I heard you guys were getting hotter than normal over there. Thank you, Lord. I appreciate it. Thank you. Where to begin? I really appreciate it. This is really the only way I'm going to get my hours to live stream. And I don't really have a good place at the house to live stream. There's only really a handful of places where the internet on my phone is good enough where I'm actually getting real 5G. And ironically, they're in places I fish. So if I'm going to be down by the river, I'm going to fish. Because there's no way I'm going to sit by the river and not fish. Ah, very, very little alligator right in front of me right now. Or a really big frog. Right there, down in there. Oh, that'd be good. I've been over 3K probably 20 times. Let's take a look at this guy. Oh, we got here. That was a very, very, very little alligator. And he did not like it when I stood up. Oh, that one's booking it. What? You guys don't want to watch me anymore? Been stalking me for an hour. Oh, I can see one really big one out there. Tell by the eye. He's way out there. All right. Oh, maybe. What's going on here? Oh, I had something for a minute. That fish traded me. He traded liver for seagrass. Bad fish. That's not a good deal. Now, there's that one boat launch that's closer to my house. And I've caught a lot of catfish in that water, but not at the boat dock. I've never caught a single thing at the launch. Not one. Not at that launch. You get 30, 40 yards down and fish in the channel during the winter, during the dry season. I've got plenty of catfish there. Bluegill. Nice bluegill. I just put that right back where it was. At least where it started. I'd be happy with one catfish here tonight. I keep being told there are no catfish here anymore. Although I caught that one little, like 8-incher, literally right here. Different bait. I was using worms, using wigglers. Yeah, I've still got 2 alligators right here. I have gotten bites, so that's encouraging. Oh, so some of them have cut bait on them, which, you know, you can get a bunch of different things from cut bait. But there's not a whole lot in this river that's gonna go after chicken livers except for catfish. We're gonna have to put new batteries in these little headlamps. I got a deal on the headlamp, a pack of 2 of them for like $7. They're pretty good. It's not like the one I normally use that has more of a focus beam. It's a more broad beam. Lights up the area better. Come on, man, take it. Oh. Yeah, something was chowing. Oh, now I got a little alligator right there. Well, I got close to the little guy. Let's put on a fresh piece of bait. Since I can get this one all the way out by the channel, I think I'll switch one of the pieces of bait, the piece that's all mangled, or something else for the liver. Find a good, healthy piece of liver. I don't know if it'll withstand the launch that this pole does, but I can try. This pole here, it launches it. I've got it set up because one of my other fishing holes, you have to hit a certain spot to catch things. I mean, you'll still catch things there, but not as many as if you can just launch it to this hole. If you can make it to the hole, there are fish sitting in that hole. Oh yeah, that seemed like it held together. Oh yeah. Come on. I got something on this time. Yeah, but oh, it got off. All right. Well, that was on liver. That's something. And yeah, as soon as that fish started splashing on the top of the water, this little tiny alligator that's right here was heading that way. This fucker's hoping for a free meal. It's a spot. That's the name of the game for hey, look, I caught something. For the catfish here used to be to get as close to that bridge as possible. The second part was to get to the channel that is on the other side of the river. I got one pole that can almost reach that bridge, one pole that can reach the channel, and then one pole that's just in between them. I am definitely getting bites, so hopefully. And hopefully it's not that turtle that was here the other day. And there's still that one big gator to the south of me, hanging out down there. Two gators, a bunch of medium-sized ones. They have, for the most part, seem to have lost interest in me. He just keeps cruising back and forth. All right. Hopefully, I get something. Yeah, I got something for that gator if he is an issue. You don't fish in places like that without something for that problem. But if I chose to just shoot it, it could cause me some serious legal issues. But if I have to defend myself, that's a different story. Yeah, I prefer to avoid those legal issues. All right, so I've gotten 2 bites on the pole on the right, 3 bites on the pole on the left, and 1 bite in the pole in the center. Yeah, I have a friend from Texas that sends me pictures of the alligators every once in a while. We have a lot of alligators right where I'm at here. A lot of alligators. Enough to be concerning. I remember back in the 80s not having a lot of gators. Ain't like that anymore. Come on, man, take it. Don't play with it. Take it. No. Freaking hydrilla, man. Oh, there's still some there. Let's rehook that then. A lot less hydrilla right now than there was. I gotta get some fishing line on this thing. This reel here is capable of cross this river. And get me some more braid. That's what I have on it now. I have 17-pound braid on this pole. I have 20-pound monofilament on the middle pole and 15-pound monofilament on the pole on the right. I really like the braid that's on this. So it's like 17-pound braid, but it casts like you're throwing like a 7-pound monofilament. Unfortunately, it costs a small fortune. But that reel came completely loaded with it. That reel's actually off of a pole that I found. Well, I caught a pole. I went fishing and I didn't catch any fish, but I caught a fishing pole. The only thing that was wrong with that fishing pole was the very tip was gone. I actually fished with it that way for like 2 years. And I decided I wanted to recondition all my fishing poles, and that particular fishing pole got turned into a cane pole for my kids, but the reel went on that pole. The one in the middle has a pole on it from the early 70s. One that's doing the jiggles. And I completely sanded down and hand painted that pole. And then the one on the right, I just added the white stripes to it. That was actually a birthday present 2 years ago from my oldest daughter, Raven. I've caught a lot of fish on it. But I reconditioned something like 20 poles. So, for the most part, I've got a pole for everything. In the process of doing all of that, I reconditioned a really, really old Abu Garcia 12-foot two-piece. Normally the 12-foots nowadays are three-piece. That thing was old. And I took a big reel from a former river rod that I had, biggest spin caster I had, and I put it on there. And that's the pole I lost last summer that while I had my back turned, it left. To replace that reel is going to be like over $120. It was a Shakespeare 6500. Them things, they used to just stick them on poles. Now they cost a small fortune. I looked at buying just one, just a reel. Not even the 6500, but the 6000. I can't afford it. There's no way. I did pull out some of my old traditional reels because I've got a whole bunch of old pin reels from the 40s and 50s, all the way through the 70s. And I outfitted a few of my poles with those. So I've got two of them set up at basically like their bass rods with some very small little pin traditional reels. Something level line, and then another one that's pre-level line. And then I've got another one set up. It's on an 8-foot rod, and it's almost a 4-aught pin. It's like the size right below 4-aught. But I have a hard time casting those things. When I was setting that pole up, I thought I was going to have a boat that I was in the process of trying to buy, but it didn't work out. I couldn't get the guy to come down that $100 to make it possible for me to purchase that boat. Now, mind you, that boat was not anywhere near seaworthy at the time. Still wasn't. Guy still got it. It was a 16-foot deep V aluminum boat. Not really a John boat, but it was going to end up being set up like a V-hull John boat, because that had a full transom on it. But it was completely gutted. He saved a bunch of stuff from the gut that when he gutted the floors and everything, and the center console, and it came with that, and it came with the trailer, and the trailer wasn't in good shape. The trailer needed a new axle, but it was, usable at the moment. It needed new leaf springs. Once again, I could have gotten it home. I don't know how long that would have lasted. I was wanted to get it and convert it into a utility boat. One where I'd be capable of both putting around with a small motor and putting up a sail. More or less looking for it to be efficient, not necessarily fast. I wanted to, middle pole. Yeah, baby. All right. There are still catfish in these waters. And she's a nice one, too. Hell yeah. Look at that. That is a pretty fish right there. Oh, yeah. Aren't you a nice looking kitty catfish? Now that is a fat catfish. Oh, that's such a nice color, too. Hell yeah. You know what? It can go in the bucket without water. There are too many gators there. One nice catfish in the bucket. It's a nice catfish, too. That's what I'm here for. That right there was awesome. That tells me there are still good sized catfish here. Caught on liver. That was on the middle pole. Wasn't sure if it was still there for a second. I just barely had it lip hooked, but I had it hooked well enough. Definitely had it hooked well enough. I just put that right back in the same spot it was. All right. On the old pole. Nice. Should have brought me some snacks. I forgot to get myself something to eat. I brought plenty to drink. I brought a bottle of water, 2 big bottles of homemade tea. All right, now I just need 6 more. There's a nice catfish. Fishing freshwater tonight. Pretty fish. Oh, well now, I'm happy. Said I'd be happy if I caught 1 freshwater catfish. I haven't caught a freshwater catfish in a very long time, other than that little 8-incher. That's a little larger than 8 inches. That's a nice channel cat. I'll have to get a weight on him later. But that's encouraging. I keep being told there's no catfish left here. Nobody's ever catching any catfish at this spot or in this area of the river. I don't believe them. That was a nice catfish. Uh, just probably check the other poles. There's a family joke. My wife likes chicken livers. I don't really care for them. She likes fried chicken livers. I love the way they smell when they're cooking. I don't like the way they taste. Never have. I'll eat them, but I ain't gonna like it. Every time she buys them, I always joke that she bought me catfish bait. She should just let me take the tub and go catch some catfish. Catfish is a whole lot better than chicken liver. She don't think it's funny, and I understand. She bought the chicken liver because she likes fried chicken livers. I don't like fried chicken livers. I'd rather have the catfish. I've used up about half of this tub of chicken liver so far. Huh. Lose my second light. Uh, that's not good. I might have to cut this soon. I'm losing lights. This is definitely not a place to be without your lights. See if I can do something about this. Fucking kidding me? Fuck is my goddamn charger? Really? Shit. All right, well, my backup charger is here. The charging cable is not. Well, there is a charging cable with it, not the one I need. That's not good. All right, well, this is not somewhere I can hang out with this little light. So that's not good. But hey, I caught a catfish. I did catch a catfish. Oh, I now know there are still catfish in these waters. That's a decent catfish. Worth the time. Oh, maybe I make a few changes so that I can better exploit this spot. Overall, I'm pretty happy. I did catch a reasonable catfish. Only one. Quite a few bites though. And if there's channel cat of that size here, then there are channel cat that are larger here. But with the amount of alligator activity that is here, I do believe I want more light than what I presently have. They do come right up, and that could be an issue. I've got one up right up here right now, but it's a little one. I can tell it's a little one. I am hearing fish activity in general. I'm not going to complain, that's for sure. All right, one of my backup lights is working. Not as good as the big light, but at least lights up the immediate area where I'm at, other than just my headlamp. Oh no, I've got two little alligators right here in front of me. I mean, right here. Close enough to be concerning. All right, well, I now know what I need to know about this spot. at night. I expected the alligators. I didn't expect them to be quite as bold as they are. And since the amount of light I have went down, they've come up a lot closer. I now have 3. And one just went underwater right in front of me. Now, I'm going to go ahead and start backing up. I don't like not having as much light as I should for this situation. I do have a fish to take home. That makes me happy. Pretty sure the pole just caught a hydrilla going by. Yeah. Ain't got no bait on it anyway. Something already got the bait. It's all right. This is the one that caught the fish tonight. That one almost caught fish. All right, so the liver's gone on this one, but the cut bait's still there. All screwed up, but it's still there. That's something. Hasn't really chewed on that one a couple of times. grass. I'm pulling up. That's a good thing. A lot of our aquatic grasses. That hydraulic killed off a lot of the aquatic grasses because it just shaded it out. The fact that I'm pulling up any aquatic grass is a good thing. Very good thing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I do believe I will be calling it quits here at this point. Just because I'm down to just really my one big light. Even though I've got my smaller backup lights, that thing goes out, it'll get very, very dark here. Thank you, Becca. Thank you very much for coming. All right. Everybody, you have a good night. I'm very happy with how this went here. Microphone is working very well. I can wander around the area and still talk. Considering the microphone on my phone doesn't want to work well, that's a good thing. That's the first reasonable size freshwater catfish I've caught in quite a while. That'll be a nice meal. I don't think a lot of people are actually targeting the freshwater catfish in this section. Every time I ask about it, everybody always tells me no, but almost everybody on this river is fishing for bass and crappie. And don't get me wrong, I love bass and crappie. But a lot of times, the only time I really have fish is from shore. And I can't go chasing them around. I don't have a $60,000 bass boat to be running around out here, or one of these airboats. And there are way too many alligators in this section of the river for me to be taking my canoe through here. Big alligator just popped up right here. Big boy finally decided to wander over here. Yeah, I don't like that. I've been watching that alligator off a couple 100 yards, and now he's 30 yards, 35 yards. So it's time for me to pack up. I do recommend these lights. I should do a video on what type of lighting system I'm doing for this. I have two of them. Tammy, thank you very much. Daggin Hills, thank you very much. Everybody that came in, thank you very much. I do believe it's time for me to cut it. If that other main light goes out, I'm down to my headlamp and a couple lanterns, and that's not enough light out here. And I'll do that no problem over on the Indian River, but I am not doing that on the St. John's. The chances of me running across an alligator where I fish on the Indian River is fairly slim. I'm actually much more likely to catch a shark. Here is a lot different. You've got to watch because they're watching you and they're opportunistic. But hey, I caught a nice catfish, so now that I know that what I've been being told, definitely not how it is, because I've got quite a few hits. And a pretty nice catfish out of it. So, now I know. And I know a bunch of other spots that they might be at. I'm going to have to hit them up, see what I can do. Freshwater catfish tastes a whole lot better than that saltwater cat. Y'all have a great night. Thank you very much.